that kind of wraps up, sort of the basic structure of our odd front menu. So now I want to jump into our even front menu and discuss that before we head over to film. 4 down fronts, we really want to get into a 3 and a 1 technique. Okay, I think most modern defenses have the means to do this. If you're watching this video and you're saying to yourself, there's some notes I need to take away from this. Note number 1, I would say you really need to take away is don't live in just an odd, don't live in just an even. If you're going to live in an odd, be in reduction, be in settle, be in stack, be in grizz, be in eagle. Don't make life easy for that offensive run game coordinator or offensive coordinator to just block up all of your fronts. If they can identify it, they can kill it. Okay, give them different options. Okay, so as we start talking about that in the 4 down front, we're really trying to tell the 3 technique where to line up. It's the same players. We're not going to switch people out. Our rock and our Batman are going to be our shade and 3 the majority of the time. Our Joker and our edge are now going to be our 5 technique or defensive end players. So you can see under, we have the 3 technique weak, over the 3 technique strong. Cougar, the 3 technique is to the sniffer or the Y off the ball tight end. River is a really, really fast term. I made our defensive coordinator add this when I got to Emmett. It's a quick way to just tell the 3 technique, get on the right. Laker, 3 technique, get on the left. They're sort of a short circuit call to just move the 3 technique where I want him to be and put him in a position where I feel like if, we want to be in Cougar and it's a 3 technique to the sniffer, but all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, that's not good. We can call river, and move him over to the right, playing an under front to the Y off the ball. It just gives you a cheat code to move him at the last minute. Then we have what we call our mirror fronts. Mirror fronts is where we are not playing with a shade and 3. Okay, so if we're in Raider, we're playing two techniques, 2 head ups on the guard. We're going to slant them strong, slant them weak, pinch them, jack them, which means go outside. We're going to play Viper, which is 2 eyes. Great thing to do against buck sweep teams and A-gap power teams, things like that. Booster will play 2-3 techniques. And minor will have 2-2 techniques. We'll have some kind of line game going, but our mic drops down and becomes the 5 technique. And there's a host of reasons we do those things, but as you can see, there's a lot of different ways for us to get into a 4 down structure, just like there was a lot of ways for us to get into a 3 down structure as well. So if we start looking at these 4 down structures, kind of here's what you get. There's our under front. Right there, you have the shade to the tight end. There's an under, okay? Just all the different ways we can have an under front. I think that the under front is a massively good way to deal with modern offenses. I love the idea of kicking a backer to the field, playing the 3 technique to the boundary, and basically making it so I can either force the defense to send the ball, or the offense the ball where I want it, or make them operate in predictable patterns of behavior for how to run the ball to the 3 technique side. And I think you can do a lot of cool things with that. Here's our 4 down over package. Again, just like everybody else, we're playing with the 3 technique to the tight end now. You need to decide sort of how you're going to signal that and get that in. But these are, and we're certainly not advocating there's one way better than the other, but these are sort of all the ways you can get into those structures and what they look like. There's our Cougar package. Again, that gives us a simple word to get the 3 technique to the Y off the ball. Okay, here it's designated as an H, whatever you want to call that guy. People call them fullbacks, tight ends, H-backs. It's an off the ball tight end, right? If we say Cougar, our kids know we're going to get a 3 technique to the tight end because we want to make him have to pull across the structure. We don't want him to do this and just be able to insert into that shade 5 alley, so to speak. Okay, here's how we would just river it. Now it doesn't matter what the front is or what the formation is. As soon as we call river, we're 4 down, and our 3 technique is going to go to the right. Okay, just automatic call, no ifs, ands, or buts. There's Laker, whatever the call, whatever the structure, we're 4 down, and we're kicking the 3 technique back to the left. Okay, again, it's just a way to short circuit the field boundary issue of where are we putting that guy at. Instead of stressing over that, it just gives us a quick one word to get them there. Raider is our double two technique. This is actually our base way to get into what we call four down. If we just say Raider, our Batman and our Rock are going to get in twos, head up. Our Joker and our Edge are going to be the defensive ends, and we're going to have basically a 4-3 or a 4-2-5 structure, depending upon what the offense is trying to accomplish. One thing I really like about this, you can slant, stick, pinch, loop, all kinds of line games you can play out of it. The only downside to it is your kids have to be athletic enough to take those gaps. If you've got slow D linemen that are big and don't move well, I would suggest put them in a shade and 3 and leave them there. Move the shade and 3, obviously, from, go over and under, but don't ask them to change gaps. If you have smaller, quicker D linemen that maybe are not going to take on double teams as well, put them in twos, head up, and then change gaps with them. Because obviously now the offense is going to have a hard time getting a double team on those smaller players. If you're having a team that runs the ball in the A gaps particularly well, Viper's a great answer. You're going to clog the A gaps. The other thing is your Mike and Will can widen out pre-snap. I think that's a huge advantage that defensive coaches are not always taking advantage of. When those linebackers widen, they get into the RPO pass lanes more effectively, which was obviously not a thing 20 years ago, but it's now pretty darn important part of your defense being structurally sound. Booster is a great pass rush answer. You're going to have double threes, double fives. So if you've got a quarterback that's an athletic dual threat guy, check into booster once in a while and bring in 2 off each edge. Great answer. You can obviously loop stunt those guys, the 3 and the 5, and get pressure on the edges and flush the quarterback up into the pocket. Now, if he's a really athletic kid, you're probably going to have some spy game answers on there, but that's a great way to be able to rush the quarterback. Okay, very, very highly effective way to do that. Sometimes we want to put one of our linebackers down the line and create a 4-man front, but we don't want to use up our joker or our star. We want to keep those guys in coverage because they're a little bit better in pass coverage. So we'll call minor. Minor, as you can see, just brings the Mike backer down. He becomes a 5 technique, and then we just kick the front over.